Welcome back to the 245 podcast, which on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy I am to be home, how much Brazilian reals that a porcelain capybara cost that I got there, and how many hours that my bacon pan went unwashed while I was gone. It's going to be a great episode, y'all. I'm so excited.
Glad to have you back, Dairy King.
The king has returned.
That was a fire intro.
Okay, I think we should start talking about the bacon pan.
We got to go through all three of these things here.
I think we got to start with the bacon pan. Who should have washed that?
Okay, I mean, any of us should have, probably. I can take the first blame for it because I drove Mitch to the nursing building to go to the airport. Mm-hmm. And he was making bacon as we were about to leave. I was like, okay, Mitch, kind of got to go because I got to get to class. So I'm like, just leave the pan. One of us will wash it. And we can go. So I probably should have washed it since I told him to leave it. So that's my taking of the blame. But, I mean, it sat there for 10 days. And none of us washed it.
Yeah, we probably should have done that.
Does that just not annoy any of you enough?
To
take responsibility for it.
How much does it annoy you guys?
What's the motto in our house? See it, don't own it. Oh wait, see it, own it.
See it, own it.
None of us did that.
The amount of dishes that were like sitting on the drying rack and the towel kind of bothered me. So
yeah, it kind of bothers me too.
It does,
but also like. I don't put away other people's dishes. Like I just put away my own. So.
I put most of my stuff in the dishwasher. So
yeah,
besides
I feel like some people don't use the dishwasher.
The only thing I wash.
I use the dishwasher. Is it Noah? Yeah.
Evan was not on mic for that, so
probably better.
I can't hear Evan at all. There it is.
You guys need to be both closer to the mic.
I intentionally didn't say that on mic. Probably could.
The only thing I actually wash pretty much is the frying pan. Everything else I put in the dishwasher. So, yeah. I don't know. But this is why I don't think any of us did it. I mean, this is not why, but like it sat on the little ledge above it the entire time, not like next to the sink. So it wasn't like getting in the way because I never really used that little area, that little bar area. So it never got in my way. I don't know.
I'm going to be real honest. Like, I don't even know if I noticed that. I was gone so much last week.
I was going to say, I'm not even convinced you live in this house.
Evan's gone all the time. You weren't here this whole weekend.
No, I wasn't. I was gone. I was hunting, and then I was at a retreat. Then last weekend, I was also gone. And I skipped school Friday. Monday. Wait, did I skip Monday? I can't even remember. Oh, and Monday, Tuesday, that was our fall break.
Yeah.
So I got back Tuesday night, went to class Wednesday. Thursday, I just had one class. Left after my class on Thursday. Was gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just got back.
I thought for a second there he was going to say, guys, I got to be real honest. We got to do a better job. And I was like, yeah, I fully agree with you.
I'm with you.
Steady hits us with the, I didn't even notice.
I didn't notice it was there.
Because I think that's the problem is that like we all have crazy schedules. You're never home, like with theater stuff in school. Mitch was gone the whole time.
Yep.
Evan, you're gone all the time. I'm gone all the time. Noah's gone all the time.
Noah's there actually most of the time.
Probably the most out of us.
Yeah. I thought Noah's, because like I'll come home from class at probably 1:30 or 2, and he's always there when I'm there, usually.
I think he has a lot of grad school or works from home.
Yeah, he does like online stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, from our room kind of.
So he doesn't have anything like scheduled during the day.
Except for
not really.
He has practice.
Yeah.
But that's in the night, and that's only like 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's gone a lot. And then he'll hang out with Annie and her friends too and stuff.
Yeah. So, moral of the story, the pan didn't get washed. Mitch, What was your reaction when you came back and saw the pan was not washed?
I mean, to be honest, I totally forgot that. I just kind of left it there. I guess I just kind of assumed that was going to get taken care of.
That was probably a good assumption.
That was your first mistake.
Yeah, that was a good assumption.
And then I also was like with Evan, I didn't even really notice that it was there until Mike had texted about it.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious.
I
Welcome
texted,
back
I
to
was
the States. We didn't wash your pan. Welcome
that
home.
bacon pan's still
Welcome
there,
home. I got a
unwashed.
present for you. Do the dishes. For crying out loud.
Do your dang dishes. Also, Mitch, you're 3 weeks behind on your chores.
Yeah, I looked at that. It's like
So
it's
is
on the-
Evan.
So is Evan.
Yeah, you do them. I'll do them. It'll get done.
What do
Don't
you
worry.
guys like? How do you guys divide up chores, or what's your system?
It's like by area.
And we rotate per month. So like this month, I have vacuuming the carpet down by the laundry machine, like wiping down the laundry machines and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and then I'm doing living room. Yeah, living room and bathroom.
yeah.
I'm in the main bathroom.
And I got the tiny dining room and the fireplace room that still is being worked on. So it's kind of hard to like, do my check marks and like dust everything off when it's kind of just dirty in there, and I don't know what's up in there. So
Yeah, what's the progress on that?
Dad,
Evan, what's the progress on the sunroom?
Sunroom is still in progress.
Yeah,
So what
that's
is
what
the
I'm
progress?
asking.
Still gotta
What is the
paint.
progress?
I know. I still got to paint it and then trim and flooring, and then it'll basically be done. So electrical's done. Basically, there's wires hanging through the holes of the ceiling. Just putting the lights in. It's 12 gauge wire, so that'll be kind of difficult, but yeah,
It's
won't be too
basically
bad.
done. I just have to put in the floor, paint the walls, put the electrical in the ceiling, put lights in, replace the fireplace. Other than
that too.
Other than that, it's basically done.
Getting there. Not really.
It's close.
Little by little.
Okay. So we've covered the pan. That was the first 8 minutes of our podcast.
Talk about the animal you said.
the capybara.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring it here, so I can't really show you. But it's nice we all live in a house together, so you can see where I put it.
It's in the,
It's in the living room. I thought it needed some decoration, so
We could use some.
it's on that table.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a nice porcelain one, and it was actually, I can show you the proof. It was actually 245 Brazilian real.
Wow.
There's a sticker on the bottom.
What does
So-
that convert to American dollars?
So
This is going to shock you.
it's like
When you see it, you'll be like, you paid that for that?
I think it's 40. I want to say like $48.
Oh.
So because one American dollar is like $5 or $5 and 32 cents or something.
Okay.
So
Like a victory royale or like
the Clash Royale.
$46.05.
Yeah. So it's not bad. One American dollar will get you pretty far there. So
I believe it.
yeah.
Wow.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm 245 happy.
Wow.
So
That is happy.
Well,
That is happy.
well, give us a rundown. Hit us with it.
just like from the start, or
Just
like,
from the start. I mean, that's a great place to begin.
Yeah. I do want to make sure you talk about your Brazilian fade.
Yeah. 'cause
Oh, yeah.
This is crazy.
Sometime in this story.
yeah.
I'm like having trouble focusing on anything else, honestly.
Also, all of
You
us
make
are on
me
the
blush.
podcast today for the first time this season and for a while.
Really?
Yeah. First time this season, all 5 of us are here.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, you got to show up for Mitch.
I know.
Thanks, guys.
Mitch is back. He listened to the episode from last week,
Big preach.
last
Yeah.
night.
Good.
It's kind of a banger.
He was like, dang, the ego boosting.
So let's see. So going there and back was a triple flight. So going there, we went to Orlando, then to Sao Paulo overnight. And I figured out that I do not do well sleeping on overnight flights. I think I got 2 hours on the way there on an 8-hour flight and 1 hour on the way back on a 9-hour flight.
Mm.
So that didn't do well, especially considering the fact that I probably on average got about 5 or 6 hours a night there. So, and that wasn't because I couldn't sleep. It was just because me and my roommates just stayed up late watching sports when we had early mornings. So
That was his own doing.
I was like, oh, poor you, Mitch. I'm so sorry that you couldn't sleep well. And you were just like, nah, we're just send it.
We knew what we were doing, but
Mad respect.
had to watch the Vikings on Thursday night get
That was a
crushed.
tough one.
That game was rigged, by the way.
Oh yeah, the thing.
They
at the
didn't call
end.
the face mask. That was absolutely ridiculous.
Game-changing call.
Yeah. Yeah, they paid the Rams. All right. Anyways,
Just like they do the Chiefs.
sorry, I was just thinking of something I was shown by one of my roommates, and it was like a dubbed over referee. It was just like penalty, like encroaching on Patrick Mahomes' personal bubble, first and touchdown. Chiefs win by 50. All hail Patrick Mahomes.
That's crazy.
Anyways, so let's see. We get there on Friday? No, Thursday. You know what? I'm forgetting now. No, it's definitely not that later in the week.
It was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday because I had 11:25 class.
Yeah, we left on Monday, and then we got there on Tuesday.
You went from Friday to Monday.
Sorry. It's been a while, all right. We got back. On our way back, we left on Friday. Okay, I'm just going all over the place. We got there on Tuesday to our first hotel, Quality Hotel.
You know that's so sketchy.
Yeah. They did have 4 awards for like best like choice hospitality or something.
Ooh.
So they were pretty nice, and they were hospitable. But let's see. I'm trying to remember the room. Oh yeah. We each got our own bed, which was very nice. Not to like flame any other guys, but I didn't want to be sharing my bed with those guys. So and then the first 2 days they called them culture days. So we didn't do anything with nursing or any clinical settings. So we just kind of explored the city, went to a few parks. The first park we went to kind of had a fair on it, but it was like a nice big lake fair on one side and then a bunch of greenery on the other side that had a bunch of weird geese and other birds that nobody recognized or knew the name of, and also a bunch of capybaras. So they were just chilling, just straight chilling on like this peninsula part. And so we just walked up to like 5 feet away from them. They weren't bothered. So we got some really cool pictures, got like a whole group picture with like all the guys and girls, capybaras in the background, and all the city and mountains in the background. So it was kind of sick. But and you'll see some of these pictures on at the 245 podcast
Wow.
on Instagram. You're welcome, Mike.
Didn't even have to do it.
Give me a raise.
I'll wash your pan next time.
Okay. Thanks. And I'm trying to just like I want to say everything, but then it's going to be like a 3-hour podcast. So I won't do that. Hold on, maybe I should just like go through pictures and maybe that'll help me. Clearly I'm not very prepared for this.
Did you pet any of the capybaras?
No, we weren't able to do so. I don't. It's probably like illegal. Who knows what's legal in Brazil? Hold on, I'm scrolling through many pictures. We also went to this Japanese theme park. They had some like koi ponds. The water was very dirty though, so you could barely see the koi fish unless they like swam up to the surface to bite something. And then we went to a church service during the weekend. Actually, no. It was on... They changed that plan. They said be very flexible because the schedule could change at any moment. And the schedule sure changed this moment because then we were supposed to just go to church on Sunday, but then they said, screw it, we're going Wednesday night. So we went to church. A big church here in Curitiba called PIB. Don't know what it stands for. Something PI Brazil.
Pass interference.
Yeah.
Satan's trying to throw some sin at you, and Jesus comes in and interferes it.
The pass
That's not how pass interference works, but okay.
pass interference, Boaz, 15-yard penalty. Anyways, so went to that service. It was kind of hard to understand because everybody is speaking Portuguese, of course. And they offered us like a radio station, like a local radio frequency, sorry, not station, that had an English translator, but he was speaking maybe like one sentence out of every paragraph the pastor would speak, so it was kind of hard to follow. It was just like, you could tell he was just really struggling. So, I was just like in and out of the headphones. Just like, you know what, I'm just going to take it in Portuguese and, just experience it.
It's a good man of culture right there.
And then we went to this cool like bridge, little landmark thing. It's got some like cool fountains by it, but it overlooked the city and a cliff. So we weren't there for too long, but it was a really, really cool sights. We then went to this glass opera dome in the middle of the jungle, it looked like. It was just completely open, tons of seats. Apparently they hold a bunch of concerts there. They had a raft of a floating band. Don't know how they got out there, but that's the mystery. And did I mention they'd have a disco ball?
No.
They probably have some crazy mosh pits in there. And
Friday nights
go crazy. We went to then a Brazilian steakhouse on Friday.
Now we're talking.
Dang.
So a Brazilian steakhouse in Brazil.
You finally got to go to legit.
I know.
One.
And it was like pretty similar. They had the same like salad bar and other sides that you can get for your first plate.
That's a trap. Don't
yes,
fall for that
exactly.
place.
I, being an intelligent person, avoided that and went straight for the meat.
Good.
I started eating meat the earliest, and I was the last one eating meat. I have never had so much protein in a single meal. I feel like my family would be proud of me. So
We're proud of you.
Thank you. You're my family.
Do you know how many, like, roughly how many pounds or how many ounces of
Probably
meat you had?
245, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of pounds.
I was considering adding that to the list and making it a quad intro, but it wasn't super accurate like the other ones.
Yes.
So, and then we had a class and just like an introduction to our weekend, which was kind of the main thing of the trip, kind of, because we were going with the Johnny and Friends organization, so this is like their big thing that they had planned for our trip, and it was called the IFR, International Family Retreat. And so our class was just kind of talking about like the mission of the retreat and the type of people that we were going to be working with, and it was going to be visually impaired people. So they had us train how to walk people around by having one person blindfolded and then the other person like guiding them with their elbow while they're holding on. It was pretty easy, but that was super cool. And so that night, Friday night, they came in about 3 hours later than they were supposed to. And this is something you'll notice in Brazil. Brazilian time works a lot differently than in America. In America, it's very much, you have to be on time, exact, like, on the dot. In Brazil, they don't really care. It's they're what we would call they have a sense of social time. So they just kind of show up around when they think they should. And so that was kind of something that fed into our schedule a lot, because we'd be done with stuff on the schedule at like 6 p.m. We'd actually be done probably like 8 or 9 p.m. And so we'd have no time to, play games or hang out. We'd just be like showering and going to bed. If you were responsible, unlike us, we'd watch sports and then go to bed at like 1 a.m.
That time thing is not just in Brazil. My mom has talked about that in Africa too.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Mm-hmm. So you'll see that around the world, not in America here.
No.
So that was something that I was just getting really frustrated by more and more as the days went on.
He just wanted to talk sports.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yep, that was about it. So we met our people, and we were assigned. It was just like one-on-one. So each student nurse had one person to be with, and they were either like low sight, like very low sight, anywhere from like 2 to 5% of their vision, or just completely blind. But my person, his name was Leonardo, who was also my translator. His name was Leonardo, which really confused me. Because when he walked off the bus and had the Leonardo name tag, I was like, so are you Leonardo, or are you wearing Leonardo name tag because you're representing Leonardo? Those big mind games. It was kind of trippy. I eventually figured out that they're both just named Leonardo. But Leonardo is married to a woman named Thais, who is also completely blind. They're both Paralympians.
Oh.
Leonardo he said, the 100, 200, and 400 meter, long jump, and discus throw, I think he said. And then Thais is like one of the better javelin throwers for women's. So like they're pretty accomplished.
Were they there this summer?
I think so. I don't know what they got though. And I've been trying to like look them up online to like see kind of their like performance, and they aren't showing up. So
Mitch, I got to interrupt you for a second. Landon is calling me. I'm gonna answer it. Hey Landon, what's up? You're on the podcast.
Hello?
Hey, you're live on the podcast.
Hello?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Well, that's crazy.
Say hi to Josh, who saw you earlier today.
Oh, Josh.
What's up, Landon? You can't hear me for sure, but hey.
Dude, I thought I might have recognized you.
Sorry. Okay, Landon. Josh said hi, but you can't hear him.
Okay.
But he can hear you. So say what'd you say?
Was that a good 245 possible guest audition?
Well, I didn't even hear what you said because just.
I just said I thought I recognized him.
Oh yeah. Well, Josh sent me a picture of you and was like, "Is this Landon?" No, you said. What'd you say, Josh?
Crazy.
No, I took a screenshot from your Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And then said, "Is this Landon?" Because I recognized him from like some of your posts from film stuff.
Yeah, he sent me a screenshot of you from one of my Instagram posts, and I was like, "Is this Landon?" Because I think he's at the same coffee shop as me right now.
That's crazy, dude.
Anyways, well, hope it was a good time.
It was a good time.
All right. Well, we got to get back to the podcast. I will. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Love you. Oh
Okay,
shoot.
bye.
Should we explain what that was? Okay, so quick aside from Mitch's story. Today is Sunday, and I was at a coffee shop in Orange City just doing homework, and sitting right next to me were 4 friends, and the guy like kitty corner from me looked really familiar. And then I'm like, I swear I've seen him on Micah's Instagram, like in pictures from the film festival or something. So then I went to Mike's Instagram, and sure enough, it was like the exact same face. So I'm like, there's no way that isn't him. And then I heard like one of his friends say Landon, and it was just really trippy because he was like hanging out with dork people that I know. But then I think I put it together. He is from Princeburg, and I know the other guy hanging out at the table is also from Princeburg. I looked up the 2 girls on the directory, and one is from Des Moines, and the other one is from Grand Rapids, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused how Landon knew them.
But
yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can ask him about it, Mike. But anyways, the whole time I was like, oh, I should just like say, hey, are you Landon Grun from UNWSP? And then he would just be like, what the heck? I don't even know who you are. And it would have been really funny.
Well, he did. He said he thought he recognized you, so he would have.
Yeah, like
put it
I
together.
looked familiar.
You guys met in person briefly once. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
It was actually in the Mel. We were in an audio studio. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago, but yeah.
Anyways, I was a little too shy to talk to him because that's just the way I am. But
Just two people waiting on each other to make the first move.
then Micah apparently told him, and then he called. So that's
so.
what happened.
Anyways, back to the program.
Back to regularly scheduled programming. So I want to talk about this one. I'll show you guys a little photo of this. This is called sagu. It looks weird. So it is tapioca pearls, which are like chewy and gummy, and they were kind of good. They don't really taste like much though. And then there's like this white. There's red wine, but it's like thicker consistency than Jell-O, and it's not alcoholic. And then like there's like this white cream in it. It was really good. It's a classic dessert in southern Brazil where we were. So I get to try that for the first time, expand the palate a little bit. Mom, you'll be proud of me. Mama, I made it. Mama, you're the real MVP. So that was actually really good. Had a few cups of that through the trip. And then there was a themed dinner, and it was like Harvest or something. My people showed up like they were going to the Oktoberfest, like OK-tober. So there's like beer and everything. But my guy had a pineapple jug that he eventually gifted me at the very end, which is very nice. So I gifted him one of my shirts. That was in Portuguese, so we kind of had that like little bonding moment through gifts. So that was super impactful. And Saturday we were supposed to be outside a lot, do this like guided tour thing with the Good Samaritan, like little skit, but it was raining, so they moved that to Sunday. So Saturday we ended up just doing activities and playing team games. Our group was named Fortaleza. Can you guys guess what that means?
Shoot, I should know.
Fortaleza?
Well, it's a city.
No.
You said that so confidently. I love it.
I swear it's a city.
Fortress.
It's actually a food. Is it?
It means
it's not
fortress.
a city.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh, it's the state capital. It is a part. Yeah, it is. It's the state capital of Ceará, Brazil. Yeah.
Oh, well, we were just saying that because, our faith is a fortress.
Mm.
But anyways.
My dad went to a school called Fortaleza Academy.
Oh, well.
Which I'm assuming was there.
You'd be correct then. Anyways.
Fortaleza is a city in Brazil, so.
Yes. I knew it. Live fact checking. Remember, there's no live fact check.
But it is a city.
It is a city.
So we played some games, and each game was kind of a part of a greater competition that the awards were revealed at the very end. Our team got second, so we got a bag of lollipops to share with the team. So that was good. And so that weekend was just like super nice, just to like see how Brazilian life works, and they do like training for the Paralympics like Monday through Friday. So they're pretty. They are skilled people. They are totally responsible of themselves. So like we just like walk them to the room, and then we don't have to help them at all. They can do everything on their own. So it's kind of like one of those things that where you just expect to go in there. It's like, oh, you're going to be paired with visually impaired people, but then you walk in there and expect be helping like them so much, but then you actually just like, well, they're completely fine on their own, and they're probably smarter and more skilled at a lot of things than you are. So it's just kind of like puts it in perspective. Like they might be impaired in some way, but they don't see it that way. No pun intended. Sorry, low hanging fruit.
I didn't even like.
I didn't pick up on that until you said that.
Holy cow!
I'm sorry.
Mitch, at one point I thought you were gonna pull the like. I thought they would be learning a lot from me, but really it was me who learned from them.
I mean, true, but
the iconic like motto of
I came there to serve them, and instead I was served. My heart is just so drawn to them. I'm just so impacted. No, I'm just kidding. It was impacted, but I'm not gonna say a cliche like that. Anyways, so we said bye to them on Sunday, which was kind of heartbreaking. Lots of people cried. I was the only person in our group that didn't cry.
no
guys,
heart.
I was sad. I just don't cry that much at all. So
Only when his bed gets destroyed.
only when I lose the bed wars. And we were keeping track of that the whole trip, and everyone's like, "Dude, you don't cry? Like, what are you doing?" And it's like, I don't know. I'm sad, but I just don't cry like that. It's fine. So we take a bus trip to the next city called Campo Largo. It was like an hour outside of Curitiba, and what was it called? Oh, it was called Comfort Suites. And they were actually fully decked out in like Halloween decorations, which is kind of surprising because some of the translators at the camp were telling us that they don't really celebrate Halloween in Brazil. So when we got there and they had like all this scary decor, I was pleasantly surprised. So
Were you scared?
yeah, there was some booze everywhere. It's just boo. And let's see. So we had to wake up at like 5:40 for like the next 3 mornings because we were going to a Hospital de Rocio, I think it was called, and that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. It's a different kind of hospital because they are like privately and government funded, but they have they treat every patient the same no matter what kind of insurance they have, and I believe they're based on like Christian values, which is obviously a plus. But the Brazilian culture in hospitals is a little different. We were kind of looking up some statistics with certain procedures. So they're a lot more, I'd say they treat symptoms, not patients over there, which is a little interesting. So the patients that we saw were mostly on, let's see, like ventilators, or they were pretty like what's a good word here? I don't want to say disabled, but like they couldn't do much on their own. So they were pretty dependent on the environment around them. So they weren't able to do much, but the nurses that were working with them were just kind of like treating the symptoms rather than patients. But they also, like some good things, they don't use as many medications as we do here. So they avoid a lot of like the big pharma stuff. So they use like a few medications synergistically with each other to have the same effect rather than just like one big medication and then a bunch of other ones to manage symptoms from that one. Sorry if that's confusing. And let's see, we were so well behaved there that on the last day they opened their surgery center up to us, and the first one I got to see was the end of a procedure in neurosurgery where a guy was getting his brain tumor removed.
Whoa.
So, and in America, they ever since COVID, they have been like very reluctant to let student nurses into like the OR to watch, surgeries and stuff. In Brazil, they don't care. I'm sitting over here at one end of the studio, and the guy with his brain open to the sky is probably where you're sitting, Evan. So we were like that close.
That's wild.
Just chilling, watching a couple residents just like patch this guy's his scalp. No, not his scalp. Well, yes, his scalp, but his skull first. So they like cleaned up his brain, were like managing some of the bleeding, put his skull back together, and then kind of like flopped his scalp back and stitched it up.
I love how it's like, wow, you guys were on such good behavior. Take a look at this guy's brain.
So here you go.
So did you actually see his actual brain?
Yeah, like it was just that's probably like that much of his brain. I'm making like an O with my hands.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I could not do that.
You could not.
Ain't no way.
I would love to see that actually.
I'd pass out right there. Fall into the doctors. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. The sterile field is broken. Abort.
Oh no.
Our sterile field.
It's broken.
Such a good video.
Sterile field. Sulfide bridge.
The name's Bond. The sterile field. Goodness, my stomach hurts.
Had to be there.
So that was super cool.
Evan's dying.
I'm good.
So okay, I'm gonna share this one moment because I think you guys will find it really funny. I don't want to tell it later because I'll probably forget. You can decide if you want to cut it out. But
oh boy.
So
It's not gonna be good.
the neurosurgeon was just kind of like chilling and like overseeing like the patching up of the brain and the skull while the two residents were working on it. And then he was trying to make some small talk,
With the guy or the you?
No. With no, with us. There was like 6 of us in the room that were super close. But I was kind of in the corner, and so he was like kind of mumbling some of this stuff, so I didn't hear all of it. But he turned to one of us, or like to our group, and just trying to make small talk, and was like, "What do you guys think about Kamala Harris?"
No way. No way.
Like, and I think we just try to give like some like just basic universal answer that really wouldn't get you angry either way, or something like that. I don't know what happened, but he then turned to us and said, "It's like, dang, you guys should really vote for Kamala Harris or something like that." And so I said to our group in a later and in a quiet manner in the room, it's like, man, he might be a neurosurgeon, but he's actually an idiot. So that was just a great moment there. I was just so then went to another room and watched somebody get their appendix removed. And we actually got to see the appendix and be right up. They were actually awake for that surgery, so that was kind of interesting. They had I think probably a spinal block given to them, so they didn't feel anything, even pressure. So they just kind of woke up and just were kind of just like blinking at us, and so we were just kind of like waving to them. Like, hey there, don't mind us. Just watching your
Could
stomach
you
get
imagine
opened
if
up.
you're just like a Brazilian man and you just like wake up from surgery and see a bunch of punk Americans? I'd lose it.
Yeah.
I'd lose it.
Like, what are you doing here?
You should have pranked him, like had the doctor leave, then you guys stand over and be like, "All right, you're all good to go."
Let's get you patched up and you'll be out of here right on the hour, sir. And let's see. I also got to see some. One of the days was of our group. We went to an OB section, and so I got to see 2 C-sections and a birth, like
Oh,
a
wow.
normal birth. And it was funny because the normal birth, every time, so I was counting the seconds between the contractions, just something we learned. So I just thought I'd put it into practice, And
He's
it was
like
about
that.
about every 50 to 55 seconds she would have a contraction, and then as soon as that would happen, she'd start singing opera. That's what it sounded like.
It's not in pain.
Yeah, well, obviously. and I expect you guys to do a little better of a job, than this woman's husband in this moment, because it wasn't also the nurses weren't very helpful in this moment. I guess in encouragement, I should say. But every time it was just a contraction, the nurses were just kind of just standing there, just watching, just waiting for the baby to come out. It took 5 or 6 pushes to get this thing out.
I mean, in their defense, they do this every day.
Yeah, true. But
Come on.
That thing was stubborn.
yeah,
That thing.
that thing was stubborn. So it just 5 or 6 pushes. She's just singing opera. She's in pain. Just trying to get through it. And then the husband's just got, I don't even know what he's got in his hand, but literally he's just silent, sitting in the corner, just fanning her off. That's literally it. Not holding her hand, not doing anything, not encouraging, not saying I love you lots, we got this, or something like that. Nope, he's just sitting there just
We got
fanning.
this.
She's singing opera and he's just fanning him with a plate. So
With a plate.
I don't know. That's what it kind of looked like. It was kind of hard to see. We were seeing just through a tiny gap in the curtain because they were providing some privacy, but not all. That was something else in Brazil. Is pretty much everything was open.
That's
So
sanitary.
very little privacy. But I guess it didn't really matter when most people were on ventilators and sedated, so they didn't know anything. So that was pretty cool. Also, the C-sections were really cool. I won't work in OB, but I did want to experience it at least once there. So the C-sections, they opened these ladies up, just to be frank. And so they were cauterizing through the adipose tissue. That's fat tissue for you that doesn't know what adipose means.
You just said they open these ladies up, and then after that you drop a bunch of nursing language.
Sorry, it's just it makes sense in my head, which obviously that's not how the world works. So basically, cauterizing is really hot. It's not burning. It's kind of like electrical voltage, maybe.
1,000 degree knife versus car. Just kidding.
1,000 degree knife versus adipose tissue.
1,000 degree glowing red hot knife.
Next Mr. Beast video.
Oddly satisfying.
5-minute crafts.
So they got through the fat, they got through some of the muscles, and they got to the uterus, and so they made a little small incision. They opened it up, and so the resident stretches the glove on her hand and just goes right in, just right into the right into the uterus. Feels around for the head, takes it out. Gets the head out of the baby. The baby's just sitting there, just what's going on? And it's it's drowning in amniotic fluid, and you can just hear it trying to cry. And then it just takes it out, umbilical cord and all, and there it is. That's the birth. And they show it to mom for about 5 seconds before taking it away and clamping the cord for an APGAR score. And cleaning it off, and then dressing it up, putting a little cute hat on, wrapping it in a blanket, and then returning it back to mom.
Man, the miracle of birth right there.
Explained by Mitch.
Yep. Just
Trophy.
So yeah, it was just pretty quick, and that whole
Just
time
like that?
from the first incision to when they got the baby out is probably 3 or 4 minutes. So it was actually really fast.
It's that easy.
And then the main portion of the longest portion is, just patching her up, and making sure everything is fine. So that was cool. We saw that twice. And apparently C-sections are just kind of a big culture in Brazil. Apparently lots of women like to just do the C-section instead of bearing a short period of very, very intense pain. And they're willing to go through a long recovery and all the risks of future pregnancy to just not experience that pain. But they actually passed a law last year that said that you can only have C-sections in emergent situations, or if you have like a good medical reason to, then it's fine. So I think they're trying to change the culture, which is good. It's less dangerous, less chance of infection. Speaking of chances of infection, so for like surgical stuff, here in America, it's anywhere from like 0.5 to 3% of all surgeries and open wounds that get infected. In Brazil, it's at best you can say like twice as worse. So it's anywhere from like 7.5 to 8.5%. So they do stuff pretty fast, but some of their like overall policy and practice can be a little unsafe. So you will not be catching me in a Brazilian hospital.
Were any of you guys a C-section? Because I was. You were?
I actually just found it today.
Yeah, I was too.
Oh, really?
Mom? I don't know.
Send it an email.
I don't think so.
Just
I
kidding.
feel like that's something I would know.
No, it wasn't.
Josh
Me and
wasn't?
Josh
Let's go.
staying strong. I don't. Our moms.
Is that that's not a normal percentage, right? 3 out of 5 is high.
No, mine was because apparently the umbilical cord was like wrapped around my neck and I was like suffocating a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
so you can't
It's a good song.
deliver normally like that or else probably would have died.
Yeah, mine was because my mom had HELLP syndrome, and then her liver was like inflamed and was about to rupture. And then, yeah, I was born a month early. And if they wouldn't have gotten me out that night, like she probably wouldn't have made it, or me too. So
Wow.
Dang.
it was kind of like an emergency procedure.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my mom had something with her eyes. Like there was too much pressure, so it would like cause some permanent damage.
Oh,
so
wow.
she probably wouldn't have been able to see anymore. I think if she went with normal, the normal route for any of us, 3. So we were all C-section.
Crazy.
But yeah, so we all have good medical reasons for it. They just do it just because. So let's see. I think that was kind of the end. We were all in like white scrubs. That's the thing too, is all the nurses. Well, okay, so they said all the nurses there, like when we were preparing for the trip, they said all the nurses were wearing just fully white. That was just not true. They were wearing like, well, okay, it is true because they wear white until they get to their unit, in which they change their scrub color to like their unit color, because they have like this laundry system for each unit. So I guess, but we did kind of look like we did look kind of cold. Me, Jordan, and Alec, they were, all the girls were telling us we looked like a boy band. So I came up with the name We Three Kings. So
Please
yeah.
tell me you got a picture.
Uh,
The 3 of you guys. I guess
don't-
not. No
don't
album
know.
cover.
I don't think we do, but that's okay. I don't know. I don't have one, but there might be one in the Google Drive we have. So let's see. Last few days after that was we went to on a train ride. We went on a train ride into a mountainous town called, I think it was Moretes or something. It's a touristy destination, so that's pretty much where all their business comes from. Otherwise, I have no idea how you get any materials out there except by train, because this is just like straight in the middle of the forest. So everything else around you was just trees and mountains. But it was really beautiful. It was a 4-hour train ride. We were kind of in a pretty bougie car, so that made it for a good adventure. We were like walking up to where our seats were on the back of the train. And on the front of the train, it was probably like equivalent to like your economy seats. So they were like school bus seats, like super close together. So it was basically like you're just there just for the transportation, not for the experience. But then as we were going up there, it just kept on getting better and better. We passed the first class train, didn't go in there, but we kind of went to like the step down area. So there were some nice cushioned seats and some tables with a bathroom and a balcony. So that was super cool. We got some really great pictures there. You'll probably see, I don't know how many pictures you want on the Instagram, Micah, in that post, but
You can actually do up to 20 on Instagram now.
to 20, dang.
Yeah.
That's
So if
crazy.
you want to send me 20, you can. Otherwise, I can do like 10 also. I don't know.
Sure,
You
I'll-
choose.
Yeah,
Anywhere between like 5 and 20 would be
yeah,
great.
I'll just get you probably the best ones. I was like really trying to be a photographer this trip, so I like pay attention to angles and like the what is it, like the like the
Rule of thirds.
rule of thirds. There you go. Thanks, Josh. Just read my mind.
I like it.
So
I'll appreciate that.
big preach. So there was that train ride, and there was a 3-hour bus ride back. And then I think we just played some games that night. And then Friday, what did we do? I think, we went to the Botanical Gardens. It's a really popular spot there towards Curitiba. And so we went there, and it was a really beautiful garden place. And they have this like glass greenhouse thing, but it was closed because it was under construction, even though we saw no evidence of it being worked on. So I don't know, maybe they're just lying. But it was
Good
still a
to
good
know
time.
that's a
Yeah.
worldwide problem, not just here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was still a cool experience. We got to see some cool plants, and they had a little like area that was and like a little mini botanical garden. Like I had been to one in Arizona, but it had some like cacti, and some other pretty flowers and vines and trees. So,
Rocks and trees and trees and rocks.
and rocks and trees and rocks and water. No, okay, all right. Didn't land.
Tough crowd.
So yeah, I think that was just kind of it. It was kind of a hot day. They had a superhero cafe, so I got some pictures of Hulk and Spider-Man and Batman and Iron Man.
No way.
Lots of men. So that was kind of it. And then we just hung out. I think we got lunch at another Brazilian steakhouse. They surprised us with that one. It
Oh.
wasn't as good as the first one, but I still was the first and last to be eating meat and only meat. So again, I was pretty proud of that one. And then we headed off to the airport and flew to Sao Paulo, waited 2 hours for our flight. And then it was an overnight to Boston.
Aston Rob.
And then it was a pretty quick turnaround. And it was kind of weird. It was like a bus boarding. So we were down like on level with the tarmac. And so they were just like shuttle busing everybody onto the plane. And we drove by this like Fly Emirates plane. Have you guys ever seen like a double-decker plane?
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, it's flying to Abu Dhabi or something like that, where all the oil people are. But it was there were people pointing out of our bus. It's like, dude, that's our plane. And everyone was getting like super excited. And then we just kept on driving by. It's like, oh, never mind. Psych. We were actually flying with LATAM. It was just okay. So they gave you a blanket and a very thin pillow to try and sleep on. Obviously didn't work for me because I got 1 hour. So I kind of suffered. But it was okay because I watched 3 movies: Interstellar, Kung Fu Panda 4, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Dude, that's an elite lineup of
Yeah,
movies.
such a good lineup.
The greatest trilogy of all time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was a good bit of time there, and then we waited a couple hours in Boston before we headed out to Minneapolis, and yeah, then I went home, kind of dropped off some stuff, and then I had to force myself to stay awake because I had to be on at least somewhat like normal sleeping time because there was a 2-hour difference from here to Brazil. So then I got 12 hours, went to bed at 10 and which is probably the earliest I've gone to bed in a very
me
long
and Mitch
time.
went to bed at the same time.
And then I woke up at 10 this morning. And now we're here. I saw Joey and Evan for the first time today as they walked in. Great to see the guys.
It's good. to
Josh,
be
I wish I
back.
could see you. Wait, hold on. Josh, can you turn your camera on, please? For the people.
I will at the end. My
Okay.
my laptop is like sideways and closed.
Oh, gotcha. All right. That's a good
That's
excuse. That's fair. That's fair. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I should also mention the barber.
yeah. I was saying
Yeah.
you didn't
Yeah.
mention the Brazilian fade.
I was like, oh, shoot, I missed that. That was during the weekend retreat, and they were holding a service, like a worship service where the pastor was talking at the very end, and there were just a couple barbers that were there, just like offering haircuts for the people. And Jordan was going to get a haircut, and I was just like a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that, because what if it looks bad? Then I look terrible for the rest of the trip. But I was also like, this is like probably my only chance to get a Brazilian fade in Brazil from like these barbers, and you could just tell by looking at them, they were elite, and they were for free too. So it was just like, I got to do it. So the pastor's talking, I'm getting my hair buzzed. It's just a great time.
what a vibe.
Yeah, I love how.
Why don't we do that in Eagle Brook?
Yeah, I love how people get mad at Eagle Brook for doing stuff, and in
Yeah.
Brazil they're giving out free haircuts. Like,
Yeah. So Jordan actually picked my haircut for me.
dude, it's fire. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks really
So
good.
it's a mid drop fade on the sides and back, and then
Come on.
I didn't have him take like anything off the top.
Oh.
I just went for like a little messy look that kind of hangs off over my forehead. So
Say less.
and some of the girls are coming up to me and it's just like, that's a great haircut.
Hey!
And they were like, the next day, one of them came up to me and was like, all the girls are talking. We all collectively like your haircut. And I was
There
like,
Wow.
let's go. That's ego boost.
That's a W.
That's a dub. So yeah, got that fresh fade in Brazil. Super, super cool.
Well, I'm sure there's a picture of you somewhere in there that we'll post that will have your haircut.
Yeah, there's probably a few with me in there.
Yeah.
So
Okay, highlight a trip. What was it?
definitely
thing.
Definitely the IFR. It was just great to make such a good connection, and I don't know, super wholesome time. Pretty emotional for most people. It's just one of those things you have to experience and like do yourself to really get it. It's hard to tell through stories and my terrible words. So yeah, I can't tell it all, but it was just definitely a favorite part of the trip was just making that connection with Leonardo and the other Leonardo. The interpreter's the GOAT. He also interpreted for us in the hospital, and he was really great. Really handsome guy too.
Hey, yo.
What?
What?
I call you guys handsome all the time.
That's true.
Oh,
Do you got a picture of Leonardo?
yeah. I got a picture of Leonardo.
You got to drop that in there.
I will. So yeah, it was just a really great trip. I was super fulfilled by the end. Yeah, good time, and really, really connecting with the cohort too, because a lot of those people, like, I knew them, could talk to them for a little bit, but I wasn't really like totally super friends with them. That was terrible vocabulary, by the way. I'm sorry, Mrs. Ritzma. That was bad showing. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Totally super is not a good way to describe my relationship now with the rest of my cohort. But we definitely got a lot closer with each other, so that's going to be really good for the rest of the year until we graduate. So,
Nice.
Baller.
Cool. That was a great recap, Mitch.
yeah.
It's good to hear.
I can't even see what the time is on the podcast. I feel like I talked for hours.
We just crossed an hour.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So you talked for hour, not hours.
Oh, dang it. You got to talk for like one more minute, so then it's like 1.01 hours. Then it's plural.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Well, should we wrap this one up? Like,
That neurosurgeon wrapped up that guy's brain with his scalp.
yeah, we should wrap it
Yeah.
up like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like that.
Josh, you
Mitch, I
want
feel like you should wrap it up.
to?
Hey guys, I'm back. Thanks for listening to this podcast episode. It's great to be back here in the States, greatest country in the world. Go America, go Vikings, go 245 podcast, and we'll see you later.
Hope y'all have a great day.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Peace out, boys.
See you in the next row.
Peace out, gangsters.